be right back. I might not have to stop it though. Ooh, I got something for y'all today. I'm gonna play some videos. It's this lady that I actually follow her, but you won't get into it. She did a really good job of breaking down some information about the birth certificate and how it's linked to the Vatican, how it's linked to the Roman Catholic Church, and the royal family. And we gonna talk about it. But I'm gonna connect the dots to the truth and what we're doing. Well, fighting clean government. Peace, everybody is alive. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna get my headphones. Can y'all hear me? And the music. The sound muffled. Oh, okay. Hold on. Being bloody buddy, cause it was me, I always had to study, but I was steady running. Now I'm unbecoming the purities of this world that was shoving down my throat. Now I'm cutthroat, never forgetting. This is the battle of Armageddon. Who you representing? Lay my life down like I'm blood. Thank you, thank you. So who you with, cuz ain't no blue flag hanging, it's the process of elimination. How does a book bring you salvation? Imprisonment of oppression, free liberation. Ain't no nation without a conversation. The British Museum is under investigation for the stealing and killing our people, exploitation and true dedication to keep us blind in our minds. But it's God who has the final destination. Worship the creator, not the creation. This the regenerated generation with too much false information and without any true identification. Pressure and accountability. I know my real ones are feeling me. Took a future prophecy and put it on TV. We'll get started now. Hey, have it be that way. Coming to America is real, but all the bad kids wanna stay. I thought we were leaders, bruh. How we gonna lead a nation of people and we ain't even in what I was saying was there was a lady that did a live and I got the footage. She did. I follow her too. I don't even know her name though. Let's see. Mayani or something. And the live was titled Let's Talk UCC. But I tell y'all, she broke this stuff down about the birth certificates, how it's connected to the Vatican. I'm gonna show y'all the footage that I got. And then,
we're gonna bring it full circle and connect it to the truth and how these things are actually done, because I need to fix that. But it says why individual freedom fails without unity. Although all these things are true, like I agree with everything she said, and this is why I'm sharing it. I agree with everything she said, but I think what we don't understand is, and in the video, I think I did comment and say that we need to come together and do this on a mass scale. And she responded by saying, everybody don't get to go. Everybody can't go. And that is true. That is absolutely true. Everybody don't get to go. Many are called, few are chosen. Everybody don't get to go. But just because I say do it on a mass scale don't mean I'm saying everybody. The mass scale is the ones that are chosen. That's what I'm talking about. Doing it on a mass scale. Individual freedom fails without unity. And without governance, you have no sovereignty. I'm so sorry that you just... And I'm about to show y'all how all of this is connected. Yep. Show y'all how all is connected. The first video, she's talking about the Sestake, I might say it wrong, the Sestake Trust, and how it's linked to the Vatican. And she's going to go into the birth certificates. I think I got like 4 videos all together. And then at the end, y'all, I'm going to share all the videos because I want y'all to see, like,
Is the Vatican?
At the end, hold on. She's going to tell us why she gave all this information. And then I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work. It doesn't work without unity and governance. And I'm going to show y'all. Connecting the dots. Connecting the dots. That's what we're doing. A second. First, let a few people come in. Y'all share the live, because we're really gonna reveal some really good information. I don't even know if y'all can see the bottom of it. Y'all see this? This is what we're gonna talk about today. And I know y'all like, how does all this connect to the birth certificate and the Sestake Trust? How does alchemy and Christ connect to that? I told y'all full circle, we're gonna give you all this, show y'all how it all connects. And it all connects to everything we always talk about. Connects to Ethiopia and the biblical story and the biblical prophecy. It all connects. And that's why you don't have individual freedom. It's not going to happen. That's why we don't have reparations. That's why we don't have a nation. We can't come together because we want to sell each other everything. No. I agree. You should get paid for your time. I totally agree. You should get paid for your time, and people don't appreciate stuff that's free. I get it. But charging people I think you gotta have a balance. When you want to charge people for the time that you've invested in getting all this information together and putting it together in a way where nobody else can, I get it. You want to get paid for your time because people do not appreciate when it's free. But something like this was never meant to be so to our people. Like, that's why other nations got reparations, or other people got reparations, and we don't, because we trying to sell the blueprint on how to get the reparations to our people instead of coming together and putting our minds together and getting it done as a whole. And the people that don't get to go is the ones that they don't appreciate the free information. That's why many are called and few are chosen. The few that are chosen, they appreciate free information because they understand the value in it. And they gonna put their heads together, and in the end, it's gonna be a collective anyway. That's the whole heaven on earth, and everybody don't experience it at the same time, but it does happen. So all of this is connected. And then that's why I has in here, she gonna talk about the ecclesiastical laws. How it's all coded, like the Bible is coded. It says one thing but means something else. Yeah. Hopefully I have time to get into the alchemy stuff, but I'm gonna see, because it's all connected, y'all. You can't even understand this without going within, and that's the first step of alchemy. That's what y'all don't know. That's the whole the Christ dying and resurrecting is alchemy. Right, hold on. So you not even gonna be able to empty your cup. That's the empty in your cup. You're not gonna even be able to grasp this information and understand that you in a spiritual bondage if you can't. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let's see. Y'all feel me? Anybody from the family want to come up? Y'all know I'm cool with that. Play a couple more songs and then we're gonna get started. And I'm accepting guests too, y'all. I'm not gonna just be I want to interact with the people.
They been asking me where I've been at. Just relax, nigga, I'm back. No need for cardiac. The rest was needed before I made the attack. With more combos than Tekken. Leroy Smith with a gold swinging necklace. Raven Simone can predict this, cause it was set by a higher power. This predicament came from sacrificing those hours just to get ours. Stingy with the flower when they see you trying to rise. I know it's bittersweet, but you might get it when you die. Nickname Franklin, how I built this enterprise.
Y'all,
just to get the enterprise.
I'm like, man, she put it so.
If you wise, get your money up, but don't let it be your demise.
She put it so plain, y'all. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta just play the video so y'all can hear it. She did a really good job. She did a really good job. And I was gonna pay for the class. I was gonna pay for her class, but I was like, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it because I don't know. I might still pay for the class.
Too much for one nigga, you better call your pastor. Hanging with a bunch of potatoes. Lurking with the lines, be the limit, be the sky for me. Is you a ride with God or cheat? With the teachers of man you see. Breathing images got you lost at sea. Even Nemo can't find you, and you're married to Babylon. I can't even sit around. Babylon, that's where you be. Man with teachers of men, drowning in sin, but blessed are those that perceive. He had a devil them planning to see. Now Christ on earth, clearing up all the confusion. Either your stuff for God or burning your delusion. The only beat you need to hear is when we step to you as a man.
y'all. Now, y'all know we used to do the on the on the lives that we used to do. We had the segment with called Conversations with AI. And y'all, I was just wondering, like, I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what I said. Now I'm just playing the music and, you know, y'all share the live. And I'm gonna get started on the meat and potatoes in a minute. But I was just saying, like, why do we argue about these lands and treaties and all of the stuff that we're going to reveal today about the birth certificates and the link to the birth certificates, the social security numbers, the coupons, and all of this stuff, right? We're going to talk about that. But I was like, okay, if the origin of humanity is Africa, why are we arguing about all these, why are we arguing about every other land? And I was like, okay, if African people are melanated people, black people, whatever you want to label it as, if they are the origin of life, if they are the first human beings, the only beings with the non-structured DNA, if these people, these beings that were first here on earth, why is everybody that's melanated, black people, arguing about, mostly African American people, arguing about the land that's called America, right? So I'm saying to myself, like, if the original people, if they're the original people, why is it so hard to believe that Africa, which is the origin of life, is the land where the original people come from? You know, like, this is what I'm saying. And I said, I don't understand how to put this to people. Why would you think America is the origin of life itself? America doesn't even have, you know, it doesn't have the lions and the food that your body needs, to be honest. So then I said, what else? Okay. Okay, yeah. I said that about the food. So this was the response. Let's first separate three things that keep getting tangled: origin of humanity, indigenous status to a specific land, and psychological survival after enslavement and genocide. When people mix those up, the conversation goes nowhere. And I'm like, you sure right, it goes absolutely nowhere. That's why we ain't been going nowhere. So the origin of humanity does not automatically equal indigenous to every land. Being the origin of humanity does not mean you're indigenous to every continent. Every landmass must trace civilization starting there. Africa being the cradle of humanity means human life began there. People migrated outward. And I said that on my last live. I said that. People migrated outward over tens of thousands of years. That's not controversial. That's anthropology. So when someone says, if we're the original people, why can't America be the origin? The simple answer is because origin means starting point, not every destination. That's logic. Now,
when your leggings have seen better days. Get a fresh new pair hand delivered to your door by a shopper who gets you. It's not easy being the one everyone.
Commercials, y'all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, now, because origin means starting point, not every destination. I read that part already. You don't say a river starts at the ocean just because it ends there. Logic. So why African American people argue about America specifically, this part is more emotional and not historical. African Americans, and she gonna talk about the African Americans, where that word come from, and it's trademarked. They trademark everything, but girl, anyway. So we're forcibly severed from African ethnic identities, okay? Had language, tribe, cosmology, and land memory erased. Were told for centuries you have no homeland. So what happens psychologically is people try to root themselves somewhere, anywhere, because being from nowhere is unbearable. Trauma. Claiming America is the origin isn't really about believing it biologically itself, okay? It's about wanting belonging, wanting legitimacy, wanting ownership after disposition. That's a trauma response, not ignorance. And I just said that. Trauma. I just said that. So why Africa gets resisted? Africa gets rejected because it was intentionally portrayed as backwards, cursed, irrelevant. Christianity plus colonial education severed spiritual memory, which I spoke about on the last live as well. Slavery replaced lineage with race. So for many people, it's cold in here. I'm gonna have to go get my heater. So for many people, Africa feels abstract. America feels immediate. Even if Africa is logical, America feels survivable. This shit makes so much sense. So how to say it to people, how to say it so people actually understand what you're saying instead of using argumentative language. Africa being the origin of humanity doesn't erase anyone's connection to America. It just means America is a destination, not the beginning. And I said that. Okay, we're going to get into that in a minute. And I just said that. So we're not telling you that melanated, black, Indian, Hebrew people were not in America first. We're just telling you that you can't claim that as the origin of life itself, because Africa is the origin of life. Okay, I'm just saying. People do migrate and move out. Separate, call themselves other names like Moors and Hebrews and Hebrew Israelites and Muslims and Christians and Jews and Judaisms and all this other stuff. All right, so let's get started on this. This one, I'm gonna turn my screen around so y'all can hear and see. Let me find the settings. I just did this. The dual screen. The full screen. All right. Can y'all see that? Hold up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just check that over here.
created the Bank for International Settlements.
Now it did start in the middle of the recording.
I
wasn't there for the beginning of the recording, so.
Private central banks around the world. So now you got multiple banks around the world. Up on the deliberate, look at this, y'all.
Y'all see the name, her
Up
name.
on the deliberate bankruptcy of most countries. Deliberate. Okay, so you pillaged, you plundered, and you've torn up everything, and now you bankrupted because you went and burned up everything, right? Of most countries, private central banks were installed as administrators, and the global Cestui Foreign Situs Trust
She said it,
system
didn't she? Cestui?
from
Because I sure as hell couldn't pronounce it.
1933 onwards. Okay? Now we got a visual of what's happening.
My girl finna break this
What's
stuff
happening?
down, y'all. She broke it.
So the Roman cult is known as the Vatican. But from what I'm seeing, you have now the Romans is seeming to be the corporation and the gosh darn the England folks. That's the Romans. But then you went and bankrupted other countries and you hid all the claim to property. This was the point of them taking all the sacred land. This was the sacred documents and all of the records from our spiritual temples and things. Because those spiritual documents dictated who owned what, who were the heirs, who was born and have rights to. Put it in a private bank. We're going to kill them off. We're going to burn them up. We're going to tear that shit up. We're going to bankrupt their asses. We're going to take their gold. We're going to steal their land. We're going to do whatever. We're going to bankrupt them.
And they did it.
Come on now. Yeah. That's all they did. Come on now, LeBron. Come on. Let's get it. Now let's get down here. What you will learn is that in 1933, this is when all birth certificates, people started using birth certificates. This is when everybody was on board with birth certificates. This is when they got the system to where they saying now everybody has to have birth certificates, okay? And let me just show you. Because I don't want y'all to be just thinking, I have my proof. I have to show, I need y'all to put your eyes on it. So what? One second. What's up?
Password. Hold on, yeah. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Keep it active up in here, y'all. Here we go. So, as you can see here, when did birth certificates start? Birth certificates started with church records in the 1500s. So remember, this was us.
Church records. Y'all heard? Wait a minute.
We had our records stored. Remember, I'm telling you that we had our records stored. Y'all, here we go. So, as you can see here, when did birth certificates start? Birth certificates started with church records in the 1500s.
Church records.
So remember, this was us. I'm telling you that we had our records stored. They weren't called churches. We didn't call our shit churches, okay? But
now listen, I told y'all the organizations didn't start off as what they are now. I told y'all. The organizations didn't start off as what they are now, and they got greedy, y'all. I'm telling y'all, they got greedy, and I think that in the beginning, they were supposed to provide for the communities and take care of the communities and build neighborhoods and what a governing body's supposed to do for their people. They got greedy, and they wanted control of all the resources that was going into the community and how it was going to be used, right? And they got greedy. And they became handlers instead of helping their community. This is just my opinion, though. It sounds about right. But y'all see, all of this started church records. And I don't know. I always say when it comes to the dates, take the dates with a grain of salt. We don't know what they did, when they did it. Well, we know what they did. We don't know when, the real dates, and hell, we don't even know what year we really in. To be honest.
Became government requirement in some places like England in 1853 in U.S. colonies in the 1600s. See how these two sit together like this? This is when you hear about them when they say that the U.S. is governed by the crown. This is exactly what it is. But nationwide standardized birth certificates began in the U.S. with the 1902 Act of Congress, leading to all states recording them by 1919 and adopting uniform formats by the 1930s. You see what I'm saying? So now they've set it up to where this is what the birth certificate is going to look like. This is the information that we need, etc., etc. And so when you come down here, you'll see standardized birth certificates became more uniformly adopted across the U.S., the corporation. All right? So when we go back over
The
here,
Corporation of America.
you'll see they tell you that this is when they began, right? So when we move down here, now they're going to tell us what the fuck this is about, what the birth certificate now represents. Okay? So 1933, since 1933, when a child is born, now keep this in mind. Keep this, you see, this is not B-O-R-N. E, you look at the E, that's not the same word, but we're going to get back to it.
Words.
When a child is born in a state, you see that?
You know what that reminds me of,
state
y'all? Hold on.
under inferior.
That reminds me of the sun and the sun. Y'all, that's what that reminds me of. The sun and the sun. They put that it's a game.
Roman law.
Play on words.
Three.
But you think you read the Bible and you can just figure out what it means by just looking at the words.
Presumptions.
Oh, it's
now,
a game.
what are those presumptions?
All of it.
I want y'all to
them,
talk to me
it's
real
a
quick.
game.
What are those presumptions? What are those presumptions?
That's what I hear. Is it loud?
What are those presumptions? Under certain presumptions. Upon certain presumptions. What are the presumptions?
Can y'all still hear that?
Not the 12 presumptions of law, but the presumption is that you are not living. Moto, that's what I'm talking about. That you are not alive. Come on now. Come on now. Look. Let's start it from the top. Since 1933, when a child is born in a state under inferior Roman law, the receste cuvae trusts are created upon certain presumptions, specifically designed to deny the child forever any rights of real property. You hear me? These are the heirs. They want to deny the children, the heirs. They want to deny the offsprings of their real property. Okay? Any rights as a free person and any rights to be known as a man or a woman rather than a creature or an animal by claiming and possessing their soul or spirit. You see that?
Your
so
mind.
Right now, they've already went into the presumption. So the presumptions is that you are not alive. Okay? You are not alive. You are an animal. You're a creature. You don't have a soul. You don't have a spirit. You're a thing. So that birth certificate implements, that's nothing more than an entity. That's what they're telling you. It's an entity. And these records, because of this record, we're able to claim that real property. Real property. Okay? How we got here. Let's go. We got to go all the way back to the beginning. So what we're going to do is, because this word born is spelled with an E, I want you guys to put eyes on what born is. Okay? Very cunning with the words. Okay? All right. Hold up, y'all.
Hold up, y'all. Because I'm messing up
the word born. Hold on, let me put the lawful. Meaning. Hold on just a second. a vessel. So that's the birth of the child with. Okay, this is what they associated with a vessel, because you came in on water. You were in your mother, right? So because you are considered a vessel, when the vessel or the ship, right, reaches the dock, hence you give birth to a doctor. But when a vessel comes, it is birth, BERTH, to the dock, right? And once it reaches that dock, it is then manifested, right? So when you reach the dock, you are now alive, right?
And Christ is the boatman.
What does it mean? You come out, you're there, you receive, you
ark
manifest it. It's
of
there,
the covenant.
right?
y'all.
With the vessel, they come and they register everything about the vessel. The vessel was 3,000 pounds. The vessel was driven by Marcy Jones. The vessel carried this much. So, but when the child is born, right? You get the name, you get the parent's name, you get the weight, you get the time. That's another thing, right? You get the time. You understand that? And the registrar is the one who registers the birth certificate. So if you see the association, well, that is what another presumption that you are a vessel, okay? And also, when you speak of a vessel in another sense, a vessel can be inhabited in the spiritual realm. If you're nothing more than a vessel, that means anything that wants to inhabit you may do so. Let's talk spiritual now, okay? Here we go. Let's get it. Now, when we speak about born, let's get it. When we speak about born, in the legal and formal context, born, past participle of bear means carried, supported, or defrayed, paid for, often indicating responsibility for costs of burdens, like the cost shall be borne by the buyer, or used in compound words like airborne or bloodborne to mean carried by. It signifies physical conveyance or assumption of an obligation. Hold up, y'all. Distinct. Hold on, y'all. They got something popping up on the screen. I don't know if we got some I need a moderator. Hold on. Let me see. Frank, let me get you up out of here. Hold up. I got some people I gotta block real quick, y'all. Let me block some folks real quick. Let me get them up out of here. Okay, here we go. Now, when you get down here to the formal meaning, carried, conveyed, mean physically transported or transmitted. Example, waterborne diseases carried by the water. Defrayed, to pay or to take on financial responsibility. The example is the expenses were borne by the company. Assumed, endured, to accept or carry a duty, a burden, or responsibility. How about that? And in law refers to physical carrying, the right to bear arms, or the right to payment, or the payment assumption of cost. So basically, when you're reading this, the word born is used for carried, produced, or supported. What they saying in a nutshell, okay? In a nutshell, they are saying we're not only taking the birth, we're not only going to claim the birth, not the push out. We're not just going to claim that, but we're going to claim the manufacturing, the production, the bumping and the grinding, the love making that it took to create the child. We're going to claim the manufacturing of the child. We're going to claim the carrying of the child.
And they claim the relationship through the contract called marriage. The marriage license. Yeah. Nobody want to talk about that though.
Of the child, and we're going to claim the birth of the child.
They claim
You
it all.
understand that? Because remember, when the baby is in the womb, the mother is supporting that child because she has to feed the baby. I mean, she has to eat. She has to, you know, she goes to doctor's appointments. She's stretching. She's doing everything for the caring of that baby. So they claimed every sense of that child's life.
So
from
and
the
I just
the
want
nut
to,
getting
you know,
busted.
just let that settle in your spirit for a minute. Do you honestly think that they went through all of this? They went through all this craftiness. Do you think that it's going to take one individual here, this person over here, you selling it to this person, you selling it to that person, y'all, everybody doing different things? And no. This gonna take order. It's gonna take order. It's gonna take something higher than what we've been doing. It's not gonna marching and all of that. No, honey. No. They didn't get it like that, and then that's not what it's gonna take to take it back. So
That's all. Let's just go there from the conception. You understand that? That's
they're gonna
how
send you
deep
down a bunch of rabbit holes. Is what's gonna
That's why
happen.
they said through the
So
spiritual.
that's what's happening.
In the spiritual, it's claiming the child's spirit or the soul.
Now don't get it twisted. The stuff she's saying, I'm
everything
sharing this
as it
because
pertains to the
she
child.
on point
Why
with
are
what
they
she's
so
saying, but what we don't
gung-ho on the
understand is
child? Because the child.
this is the part we don't understand. Individual freedom is going to continue to fail for our people because we don't understand that it's going to take uniting. We got to come together. Governance. Everybody ain't meant to be a leader. Everybody don't know how to govern themselves. So everybody ain't meant to be a part of a
To
government.
the real property.
And I know people.
You understand
She gonna
that?
get into all of
Is
that about the
the
government
heir
and
to the real
her what she
property.
feels about the government.
And another thing I
And
would like to highlight is the number 3.
I'll just say this. A lot of people don't feel like they don't want to unite on something like this because they don't want a leader. They don't want to be governed because of past experience with the government. But the past experience with our government is the reason why you got to take action against the government in the first place. They're not even doing their job correctly. So it's just a circle. It's just a repeating cycle. If you don't unite under one governing body, not just any governing body. We're going to get into all of that in the end, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. A righteous governing body. So, let's continue.
You see that there are 3 Seste Cube Trust.
That's something
You
else I
see
didn't
that
know.
Jesus died and rose in 3 days. You see that there were 3 wise
Y'all better
men.
come.
You
Let
see
me go
that they
back because
had-
I don't know if y'all got this. Because it's all connected.
You see that there were 3 wise men.
Hold on.
The number 3. You see that there are 3 Seste Cube Trust. You see that Jesus died and rose in 3 days. You see that there were 3 wise men. You see that they have the Holy Trinity. But what I want you to put in your mind as it pertains to the Seste Cube Trust, it is talking about the birth,
Ecclesiastical
the life,
laws too.
and the death of whoever has this birth certificate. Because remember, when you're born, you are the heir, the real property.
Now y'all think they went through all of that using all of these terms that we're familiar with and they done taught us to connect to religion. You think they went through all that if they made it very difficult for you to figure it out. They made it very, 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 very difficult. It's a lot of loopholes. It's a lot of, y'all, this is why God had to intervene. this is why. I think I gotta guess. Steve M. I'm not. Hold on one second, Steve. I don't know if you was trying to come up or not. Give me one moment. I'm gonna let you.
You are alive, and throughout the duration of your life, you gain personal property. And when you pass away, the estate is created. And when you pass, you are leaving the spiritual realm. You're coming, that's a spiritual thing. So that is associated with the ecclesiastical. Because remember, not only did they just take claim of the records, but they also took possession of the burial grounds. So when they speak of these three trusts, it is for the birth, the life, and the death. Okay? Hit me some hundreds if y'all in the building.
Crazy.
Hit me some hundreds if we rocking and rolling up in here. Oh.
This is the, how I go? Money is the root of all evil. Oof. What happened? No. I'm gonna let you up. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna let you up, Steven.
Okay. All right,
That's
so
crazy.
going on back over here to the Ceste Cuvée. But first, okay, so now that we've established
Greed. All of this was money. All of this was to
okay,
gain.
now I'm gonna go ahead and read this.
Money.
And after that, I'm gonna go over to another section. But we're gonna stop. We're gonna go right here, right now. Let us go ahead.
You are nothing but cattle.
And it reads, it is associated.
He said it take money to build a kingdom.
2049. All right. And it
take
reads,
people
since 1933, upon a new child being
They
born,
made it to where it
the
take money.
executors or administrators
Take the mind
of
of
the
men
higher
to build an
estate,
empire,
okay,
a
of the
king.
higher estate.
Okay.
That means that government, that
And that's
board
what they
of
came together.
directors, okay.
Indeed. They came together, they put their thoughts together, and they built an empire. And and they didn't steal money to build it. They stole people and gold and titles and identity. So it takes people. He said people gonna build for free for where? You've been trained to think that everything is about money. Everything about people, nigga. What kingdom do you know that just have a rich nigga in it with no people? Because I don't think that exists nowhere. Matter of fact, one of the criteria of forming your own nation is people. Land. They made it about money. Gold is minerals, right? I don't think there was money. It's resources. It's found in the earth. I don't have institutionalized studies about these things, so I don't know the exact terminology to use. But what is gold really? Is it a mineral? Is it what is it? Somebody in one of y'all, y'all know what it is. One of y'all smart people that study these things. They stole gold. I'm just saying, why would they take somebody's hair and keep it from 1868 until now? And why would they do that if this is really, really, really about money? Why would they take people and change their identity and all this stuff? At the end of the day, they were trying to build their empire. They were trying to build an empire. It was about people. They have trained us to think that everything is about money. Money didn't always exist, though. People did. They had trained the people to create the money and then trained you to go work for it. Something that they created to build their empire. don't know how many different ways I can put it.
And knowing
Money didn't always exist. People did,
the
though.
beneficial entitlements of the child as
That's why they
beneficiaries
enslaved you.
into the
Got you to
first
think a certain way,
SAQV trust.
to have a state of mind, so that you'll never figure out
by registering the name
how to get out of bondage.
thereby also creating
And they can continue to create and
child any rights
circulate
as
their money
of
that they made up.
property.
Make you
Now,
think it's the most valuable thing in the world, when
everybody
really
is
you are the most
looking at
valuable
what's
thing.
going on because it
Without
says
you,
the
hell, who gonna
executors
spend the
and
damn money?
administrators of the higher estate
Who the hell gonna spend the money if there wasn't no people?
knowingly convey. So what I want to do
Hey,
is
this make it make sense.
look up the definition.
Talking about money is the most
Definition
important thing.
of
Who the
convey,
hell
because
gonna spend the
they
money
convey
if the people ain't there?
beneficial entitlements of the child as beneficiary into that system.
Let me see some. I'm gonna rewind it because I be having to get my thoughts out because I just be trying to figure out how y'all be getting to your destination of thought. No people, money is worthless. If you made up your own currency and you don't have nobody to spend it, your currency has no value without the people to give it value.
Okay? Now, you seen what they said about that registry.
Oh, let me go back.
So what have conveyed the beneficial entitlements of the child as beneficiary into that Sestaq Bank Trust, okay? Now, you seen what they said about that registry number. So what I would like for you to do is put on your thinking caps. Let's think about this. The executors or administrators of a higher estate. Who are they speaking about? You have the Secretary of State, who holds the secrets for the secret trust.
And that's why you got to go through the Secretary of State to go and authenticate your birth certificate. You go through the Secretary of State to file UCC-1s as well. So y'all think they was gonna make it that easy for us? Baby, you just gonna go through a whole bunch of loopholes if you're trying to do this by yourself.
Right. Vital statistics. Yeah, you have vital statistics. And then you also have the governor. The governor is basically the president, okay? Nobody thinks about that.
Uh-oh, y'all.
Nobody thinks
I'm putting y'all all in my business.
that, but the governor is in control of
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, in the next video, hold on, y'all. That's the one I just played. Okay. This one.
And when it reads, come on now, it's of America, action, so that they may bring joint action, all right, against any or all of us. So this is action, so that they may bring joint action, all right, against any or all of us. So this is the binding form, all right, the adhesion. So when we come over here, we review the bid, okay? Let's review the obligation.
Let me get it on the
And it
screen,
says,
y'all.
we, the principal and the surety, are firmly bound by the United States of America. Because what you didn't see here is
I think this, yeah, this
action, so
one.
that they may bring joint action, all right, against any or all of us. So this is the binding form, all right, the adhesion. So when we come over here, we review the bid, okay? Let's review the obligation.
I think I missed some of
says,
it, but
we, the principal and the surety, are firmly bound by the United States of America. Because what you didn't see here is after you get down here to the bottom, it says this affidavit is made to induce the United States of America to accept me as surety to the attached bond. Okay? So basically, this is what the attorney is filling out on your behalf. Okay? Binding you jointly and severally to the penal sum, and so that the courts may sue the estate, bring action against the estate, while binding you, the principal, the living, to the contract. However, the United States, the agency of the United States, because remember, all governmental entities are nothing more than government contracts. This is business. So with this contract, they induced the United States of America to accept you as a surety. So when you get back over here to the bond, now the obligations have come forward. The obligations to that bond have now been stated. So as you can see, it says we, the principal and the surety, are firmly bound to the United States of America, hereinafter called the government. Come on now. In the above penal sum, for payment of the penal sum, we bind ourselves. Oh, wow. Our heirs, our executors, our administrators, and successors, jointly and severally. However, where the sureties are, corporations, acting as co-sureties. The sureties are corporations. They telling you right now, hold up. Within this document, they are literally telling you that the estate, the all caps name, is a corporation. The surety. Come on now, the insurance, the one who is going to hold the obligation for the claim. Come on with it. Wait a minute now. Hold up. Wait, let's get it. Let me flip this all around. So when we get there, it says the sureties are corporations acting as co-sureties. We, the sureties, bind ourselves in such sum, jointly and severally, as well as severally, only for the purpose of allowing a joint action or actions against any or all of us. For all other purposes, each surety binds itself jointly and severally with the principal for the payment of the sum shown opposite the name of the surety. If no limit of liability is indicated, the limit of liability is the full amount of the penal sum. But wait a minute. It says each surety, meaning ourselves, our heirs, our executors, our administrators, and successors. You have to understand, they just bound not just you. They just put your whole motherfucking heirship into the bond, the penal sum, so that you could allow joint action against it. They have made you, your heirs, your executors, your administrators, and your fucking successors surety.
You have been made bond men and bond women.
So when you go back over
And
here,
y'all don't think this is biblical? This don't have nothing to do with prophecy? Come on, man.
and when it reads,
Come on, y'all.
now. When it reads, if such person for whose life or lives such estates have been or shall be granted as aforesaid shall be beyond the sea or elsewhere absent themselves in this realm by the space of 7 years together, and no sufficient and evident proof be made of the lives of such person respectively in any action commenced for recovery of such sentiments by the lessors or revisioners, in every such case the person upon whose life such estate depends shall be accounted as naturally dead, and in every action brought for the recovery of the said sentiments by the lessors and revisioners, their heirs or assignees. Their heirs or assignees. The judge before whom such action shall be brought, meaning the judge who you bring the action in front of, shall direct the jury to give the verdict as if the person so remaining beyond the sea was still dead. And why is that? How can they still consider? Listen to this. You gotta let's wham it. Let's do a wham whammy. How is it that they can still consider? How can they bind your heirs, your successors, and your executors? How can they bind them? Why are they able to bind them? Why? Why?
The birth certificate.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
D1. Oh, I didn't even know that was you, D1, in the comments.
Talk to me. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, AMI. Come on now. Because it reads, since 1933, when a child is born, the executors or administrators of the higher estate knowingly and willingly claim the baby as chattel to the estate. Come on now.
Come on
The
now.
slave baby contract is then created by
Come on
honoring
now.
the ancient tradition of either having the ink impression of the feet of the baby onto the live birth record or a drop of his blood, as well as a trinket.
Now look. Hold on.
The parents to signing the baby away through the deceitful legal meanings on the live birth record.
Now this is why I was saying to myself, they don't even consider you alive for real. This why I'm saying, like, they don't consider you alive for real, let alone a human. So you're just a number for real. You're just another piece of cattle.
This live birth record, as a promissory note, is converted into a slave bond sold to the private reserve bank of the estate and then conveyed into a second and separate ceste cuvee trust per child owned by the bank. Upon the promissory note reaching maturity, that's the age of 18, baby, and the bank being unable to seize the slave child, a maritime lien is lawfully issued. A maritime, let's get it.
Now listen. People came over here. When all of this started, y'all gotta think about this. When this started, when they created this system and created all of this birth certificates and all of that, the model that they were following was maritime law, like stuff that actually came off ships. Now, if you think about this, the people that they brought off the ships was the package, right? That's the main package that got here. From that point on, and they said, okay, we got to figure out a way to keep track of our packages. That's where the birth certificates come in, and it just continued on. Because you still a part of the main package. That's why you the heir. I think I got that point across.
Maritime lien is lawfully issued to salvage the lost property and itself monetized as currency issued in series against he who lives trust. Come on now. You gotta look here. Being unable to seize the slave child. Now think about this. We know that this age is 18 because at what point does CPS kick the kids out of foster care? At what point can they not even, at what point do they consider them to be an adult? At what point is a child able to be charged as an adult? See, from age birth to 17, child is up for grabs. They can come and snatch them. They can come and do whatever. But once somebody turns 18, they're unable to just seize it on GP. We're unable to seize it at the age of maturity, right? Come on now. And then a maritime lien is placed on the salvage property. On the salvage property. Come on now. So this is why when you look at the bond and it say your heirs, your executors, your administrators, your successors, it's because they got a birth certificate. Come on now. We got to go all the way back. We have to go all the way back. You feel me? Hold up. Let's get it.
Yeah, we're
Let's
gonna
get
connect
it.
the dots.
Now what we going to do is,
I think this. I'm gonna share
Let's
the
go
last
over
video
here.
and then.
back over here to this, let's get it. Each Ceste Cuvée Trust, created in 1933, represents one of the three crowns, representing three claims of property.
Did she say
of
crowns?
The Roman cults,
The what?
being real property, personal property, and ecclesiastical property. And the
what
denial
property?
of any rights
That
to
sound
men and
biblical.
women other than those chosen as loyal members of the society and as executors and administrators. Come on now. Come on now. Then it says the three Ceste Cuvée trusts are the specific denial of rights of real property, personal property, and ecclesiastical property for most men and women. Corresponds exactly to the three forms of law available to the gala of the Bar Association courts. The first form of law is corporate commercial law. Is effective.
And that's why commercial lawyers get paid the most money. They want y'all to think the criminals that they putting in prison for all this. Listen, corporate lawyers get paid the most money because the people that they have to represent commit some of the worst crimes, okay? Don't get it twisted.
Because of the first Ceste Cuvée. The second form of law is maritime and trust law. Remember, they administer the estate in the courtroom over your personal property. Or your personal property, okay, is effective because of the second Ceste Cuvée. And the third form of law is the Talmudic and Roman cult law, is effective because of the third Ceste Cuvée trust of baptism.
Of baptism?
Hold on now.
Okay.
When it falls down into personal property, the reason that the courts are utilizing the trust law and the common law is because the trust, the personal property, the bonds fall under any contracts that have been entered into on behalf of the estate fall under personal property. But so this is where I want to go ahead and now begin to look at this commercial law. Let's look at this commercial law real quick. Hold on, let me pull this on back.
Commercial? Like
Let's pull
UCC
this
one
on back.
commercial?
Hold on now.
Like those type of commercial?
Let's get it.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on,
We're
let me
gonna get
see.
into that in a minute. I'm
Let me
just
see here.
saying.
Do I want to read
And I
this
thought
part here?
she actually did share a
Do I want
UCC
to
one.
read this part? No, we're gonna keep going.
But I
Let me
think
see
I
here.
missed
Let me
it,
pull
y'all.
this
I
up
don't think
here.
I got that part. I'ma see.
I would like to pull up. Let me pull it up. Let me find it.
I hope I
Okay,
did.
here we go.
Hold on. Man, I hope I got the part where she showed the UCC one. Give me a second, y'all. Come on now. Let's see, do I have it?
The ebooks. together and created the Vatican.
Hopefully it's this one. Hopefully it's this one. She did. Did she already show it? I wanted to get that UCC number off of there, but
To the Treasury, and I sent over affidavits.
all right. Now, hold on one second. All right.
Here's how you can access the UCC One reports on how the United Nations governments connect themselves to God. First, you will have to go to
Oh, I need
the
to get
Forest
another
Washington government website. As this video continues, I'm going to show you 2 different ways on how to access this document. The first way is by researching the name Jesus Christ on this website. First, you're going to click Browser Names. And then you're going to click the third option, search name of a secure party, which is an individual. And we're going to put in the name Christ Jesus. Then click the second option, Christ Jesus. And we want to include the lapse records. And then click Certify Research Report. And here's the document from the Washington State Department of Licensing. The file number is very important to keep for you to find this document. As you can see, there's a list of countries which are governments that are connected to the United Nations. And on the last page, you will see who the assessors and the secure and authorized parties are. The second way we're going to find that same document is by researching that file number on the same website. So this time we're going to search the file number. I copied the file number from the first document that we researched and pasted in. This document showed up to be a debtor from King George III, which will have the same file number and same document. All of these documents will be published by the Washington State Department of Licensing. As you can see, it's the same file number. And this document was filed September 21st, 2022. As you can see, it's the same countries listed. And all of these countries / governments are debtors to Christ Jesus and God.
It's all connected.
The name
plain
Christ
sight.
Jesus has a S next to its name because it's a secure party. God in heaven is an assigner. The United Nations is an assigner, and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York is an assigner. And the authorized party is God. So I'm making this video to show the masses that this is not a fake document. It's obviously something that we can all research, and I'm giving you the tools to research it. As you can see, Jesus is not only connected to religion, it's also connected to governments and businesses of the world.
Corporations,
So when the real Christ shows up, he will be governing and conducting
corporate
God's
law,
business.
ecclesiastical
Now
law.
I'm putting out a longer video on
Talmud
my YouTube
law.
about these UCC
Come on now,
documents
y'all.
because TikTok always takes down my videos when I talk about the UCC One reports. So you can research me down here and see you soon.
All right. I think, let me see if the next video is going to automatically play. Yeah.
So
Now she
peace and
finna get
blessings.
into the meat and potatoes. Yeah. Pay
Peace and
attention.
blessings to the Niggas Kingdom family. Peace and blessings to everyone who is watching this video. This video is about the UCC1 and how it's been connected to the Vatican, the British Empire, God's prophecy, Jesus Christ. You know, it's also connected to the corruption of the governments that we all live in. And I just wanted to get more in depth with why this document is so important in our today's system, our today living lifestyle. And I think it's very important for us to get into understanding the paperwork behind politics, you know? And so first I wanted to start off on how did we even get to know about this UCC1? How did we come across it? So let me show you guys how we did. So this is one of the first videos that we came across talking about this UCC1 that was established 2022, September 2022, and this is the video. I will play it and share it to you guys. Here we go.
Charles III, aka Charles Philip, this UCC1, Mountbatten Windsor, King Charles III, aka Charles Philip Arthur George of Clarence House, right? And it's got all of the countries. Here we go. Start going fast. You can go look it up yourself. It is posted on Scribd. Here we've got Jesus Christ as a secured party creditor, living in, I mean, it says Earth, but there's no address, right? And then the assigner is God. From heaven, I guess God was filing this. I mean, who is filing this on behalf of Jesus Christ? I guess Jesus Christ is able and capable
I
of,
guarantee it ain't being filed
filing
from the
these
sky.
records and is walking among us because, the assigners are the Federal Reserve and the United Nations and God. So who is acting?
Do y'all understand why they weaponize religion? Okay, I'm almost done with this. She 12. She act like she checking me. Come in here telling me I'm loud.
God.
So you think that somebody coming out the sky whole time they down here filing paperwork claiming you as a piece of property and telling you that somebody gonna come out the sky and save you from it, from all the paperwork? Benji, you got me laughing. You know, I'm just saying, man, what's up? Is you cool?
Who is filing this as
Ain't nobody coming out the sky to save you from this paperwork.
Because somebody's filing this on behalf. I guess we need to track down who's filing this because I guess the Son of God is, on planet Earth.
You don't say.
Giving an assigner to the United Nations and Federal Reserve? I don't think so. This is one of the weirdest documents I've seen.
And that's what everybody's saying. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, they think so and did it.
So, here we go.
Y'all know that's right, sis. Here we go.
So this was a very interesting video that we came across, and we was like, wow, this is showing the proof of what we've always been talking about, what Yaju Judah has always been talking about, is that they've used the name Jesus Christ and created the whole system, the whole government under this name. You know, under God's prophecy. They've stolen God's prophecy and taken it for their own gain. You know, that's why at the courts, you know, it's you have to put your hand on the Bible. You know, it's an oath that they have created for the whole world to be under, but not acknowledge that they are under. You know, I thought that was very interesting on how we came across that, and now we're at a point where we know exactly. You know, it's right in front of your face every day on how they do this. You know, with birth certificates. You know, UCC1 documents. So many documents that they have a hold on their citizens. You know, just off of paperwork.
Yeah.
You know, not off of the true understanding of Christ, not under the being a true witness of Jesus Christ. You know, so this is just part of their deception. This is part of their game. This is part of their, you know, their way of showing up for certain people, but not all people. You know, this government is not for we the people. It's for them. You know, so
for real.
Yeah. So a lot of people come across our movement, the Niggas Kingdom, and they automatically think that, oh, maybe we created this UCC1, but no, we never created this UCC1. We always gave out the information about the UCC1 because it exposes what they do behind the scenes. This is why we bring out the UCC1. They are using the name Christ Jesus, Jesus Christ, and God, you know, as their authority, as their secure party for them to have jurisdiction over their states. You know, so this is also connected to their false Christ, you know, that they put the date on 2,000 years ago. These are all made up dates, made up his story, you know, so they can have authority on the world.
Exactly.
So I also did a video about how to find the UCC1. I think I might just redo it again on this video so people can get a true understanding. You know, maybe you didn't watch the other videos, so I'll just show it to you again on how to do that. I'll share
That's the
my
video
screen.
we just watched, but I'm gonna let it play. Yeah.
So this is the UCC1 website to go to. Is the Forest Washington Government /DOL/UCC/search.ASPX. All right. One of my, you know, it takes a time. It takes
You can
some
find
time
all
for
of
you
this
to
on
really
our
understand how.
website.
It took me some time how to
Yachitude.com
understand how to
as well.
get to this point. But like I said, it's not that hard. So first we're gonna go to the easiest route, you know, search the name of a secure party who is an individual. Now, on this document, they have Christ Jesus as a secure party and as an individual. So we're gonna put Christ. Oops. Jesus. Right? Now, here's the funny part. You know, I think I will do another video on this first Jesus here, the Bono of the family. I think the Bono of the family has a very deep rooted connection to all of this going on. You know, it could be connected to the Rothschilds. It could be connected to the Vatican, the royal family. I also did some research on the Malta area, you know, so it's connected to through a whole bunch of, you know, schooling understanding. Like it goes deep. But for this video, we're just going to focus on Jesus Christ. So we're going to pick the second Jesus Christ. We're going to include the lapse records. And then we're going to pick this certified search report. And it's going to go straight to the document. And I'm going to show you guys that there's multiple different documents. Like this is you know, I don't even know how to really explain it. There's so many different documents that look the same. Like it will have all these same, states and countries, but this area, the first page, is always different sometimes, and I'll show you guys that later.
The craftiness.
So this is the document. We have Jesus Christ as a secure party. We have the report, I guess, of the publishing of when it came out. Because when we first got this document, it wasn't under Marcus J. Glasper. It was under another woman's name, but she retired. And I can probably put that information here.
We did our due diligence and did the research and found the person that worked.
The file number is very important. This is how
for the government that created
I had to
the UCC
research the document because
we did the due diligence.
The first document I found, I couldn't find it. The one that we see on that first video. So I did more research and realized that the file number was what was important for you to keep getting this document because it's not going to go anywhere.
They changed.
Like people think this document is just going to disappear. No, it's not going anywhere.
The file number.
Some things might disappear from it, but it's not going anywhere. It was filed September 21st, 2022.
They changed a lot of things to confuse people.
So you got debtors. It's interesting how the first debtor is King Charles, that's in London right now. That is part of, the royal family. Then you got Afghanistan. You got all of the countries.
Everybody in on it.
Barbados. You got Bahamas.
And that's why Christ comes to shut it all down. I got the whole world. Am I saying it right? He got the whole world
Belgium
in his hand.
He's gonna point out some
got to
interesting ones.
They all tripping.
Brazil,
gotta take them in your hand.
Canada.
And mold it into what you need, what it needs to be.
Cuba.
D1.
Djibouti. That's a little island right next to Ethiopia. We got Egypt, of course. Eritrea. We got Ethiopia, which is very important. Ethiopia is very important.
Very important.
Okay? Very important. We got France, Paris, Berlin. We got Haiti. We got Ireland, Israel. Israel is very important too. Very important. Now we got Italy, Rome. We got Jamaica. We got Kenya. Some of them I can't pronounce. We got Libya. We got a lot of African countries on here too. Madagascar. Got Mali. Mexico City. Keeps going. It keeps going. Netherlands. Netherlands is very important. Netherlands is very important. Then we got Nigeria, we got New Zealand, we got Nigeria, Pakistan, Peru, Russia, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, we got Spain, we got Somalia, we got all of it.
Everybody.
This has all of it. It has Sudan, it has Thailand, it just keeps going. You got everything. You got the United Kingdom, Yemen, We got Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is the last one. The last one on the list, and then after that you got, the Secure Party, Jesus Christ, that's on earth. Then you got a signer, which is God that's in heaven,
And the United Nations.
And another assigner is the United Nations. You got another assigner, which is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Now listen, y'all. If you have been around and you have done the remittance coupons, the first videos, the first 2 or 3 videos that I showed was the lady talking about the birth certificates. She was talking about the remittance coupons. She connected it to the Vatican, the royal families, the Roman Catholic Church. She made those connections in those videos. And if you have been in those circles doing the remittance coupons, doing the promissory notes where you stamp the promissory note and send it, for your mortgage, that the Federal Reserve Bank of New York Mellon is one of the main banks that hold the promissory notes, those contracts, the main contract. And they are the trustee of those contracts. So come on now, y'all gotta connect these dots. We giving it to you like on a platter. It's right in our face, right there. Let me find this paper real quick.
And the Secure Party, Jesus Christ. In this YouTube here, a lot of people ask me about this YouTube. This YouTube, I wasn't able to access it. When I first got to this document, I wasn't able to access it. But I found someone who has. And we're gonna go to his document in a few. So before we get to that UCC YouTube link that's on the document, I wanted to focus on first, what is the UCC and how is it connected to the Vatican? I think this document, this book is very important that you can find online for free. I'll also put it in the description, and you can also buy it on Amazon for like about $5, I think. So I'm going to get to some pages that I think is very important for this video, and I'll share it now. So we're gonna go to page 60 in that book, and the first part I wanted to talk about is the Uniform Commercial Code. Is a private international law that is owned by UNIDRO. The Uniform Commercial Code by the copyright owner's own admission is private international law. So for another term for Uniform Commercial Code is private international law. So I'm going to go to page 61. The UCC was written and is owned by the UNIDRO International Institution for the Unification of Private Law, which is located within the Vatican about 100 yards from the Holy See. And I can also show, I kind of made another tab so you can see how far it is from the Vatican. For any viewers that are, probably want to do more research. So here it is. The UNIDRO is in this area here in Rome, and the Vatican is over here. And that is about a 37-minute drive, a 50-minute walk. And if you want to take the bus, it's about 32 minutes. So it's pretty close. And obviously you can see the connection. It's why is it in Rome? Why is the headquarters in Rome? Because it's connected to the Roman Empire. It's connected to the British Empire, which are the same two entities that come together to have their same agenda,
Been telling y'all this.
So
We've been telling y'all
I thought that was just, just to see how truly far these,
It's all
how
connected.
close they are, you know. So I'm gonna go back to the document. So Unidro is owned and operated by the Vatican. This is further proof that the corporation called United States is owned and operated by the Vatican to further their agenda, and they are using their commercial law to enforce their maritime law. And you know, this shows that, you know, United States, people think United States is its own entity. No, it's owned by the UK. It's owned by Rome. You know what I mean? Like, these entities are just corporations, just businesses. You know, that's still connected to the Vatican. That's still connected to the Bible. You know, that is under the law of the law that they created. You know, these laws that they have created, and they put the name Jesus Christ under it. So these are not the true laws, you know what I mean? This is not the true understanding of what God law is. That's why Christ comes to fulfill the law. Christ comes to fulfill the law, which means he gives you the understanding of the law. You know, that's where you gotta go to the mouth to get the law. That's also mentioned in Malachi 2 and 7. You know, you guys can read the Bible, but the Bible is sealed, you know. And this is a whole different topic. You know, we can get in. You can go to Yadu Judah to get more information on those things.
This is on the UCC
like I said,
connection.
Christ is on
this
earth.
Is on
Christ
their
is
website.
revealing the true understanding of what all these things mean, you know. So we're on page 64. The foundation of the Uniform Commercial Code is commercial law. The commercial law is the law of Exodus of the Old Testament, the Ten Commandments, and the Judaic Orthodox Hebrew commercial law of Moses. So they say that they get their law from Moses, you know, which they use the Bible as if this is where they get their law from. So, and I think that was basically what I wanted to show onto this document here. So let's go to the YouTube link that I really want you guys to see, that's connected to the UCC document that I showed earlier. I think this document explains exactly what their agenda is. You know, they're still trying to somehow make it come alive, but like I said, the document won't be erased, but certain things will. So this document, if you did do your research on the document, you won't see, you will click the link, but you won't be able to go to it. It's a YouTube link, and for some reason it's not available to watch. But there is a man on YouTube that was able to record it and still have it up on YouTube. So here is the video. So this is the guy's YouTube, AG Middle Ditch. I definitely found him recently. I never knew, you know, he was doing all this research on the UCC, which is very great. You know, I think a lot of us need to be doing this research. It's very important, and to expose it. You know, this is what how things get, you know, moving. So here we go. We're going to watch the video, and here we go.
Okay, so we actually click this YouTube link. It brings you to this video here, which is an unlisted video of the channel created for Jesus Christ, which has no other video listed if you go up there. Otherwise, there's some listed video, so it means that you can only access this video if you've got a link, and it's titled Judgment Day. Okay, so obviously we've got the categories here: the second coming of Jesus Christ, God's judgment, task list of every leader of every nation, changes to the global banking system, new rules for the gold industry worldwide. And you've got a PDF document that basically goes through what this presentation reads out, okay, which we'll just quickly click on. I don't know if this video is going to be taken down or not, but it's basically, you can access all these here. I'll kind of put it up so you can actually have a scroll through, pause and read through in your own time. The video, I'll play the video in a second. You're going to see exactly the kind of script that's going to be playing out over the next few years, right? And granted, just keep in mind that this current system that we're in, with what these guys have set up, Manifest Destiny and the Freemasons, and their god is basically Satan, right? So just be careful. Lucifer, Satan, I believe they're two different entities, but they worship Lucifer, Satan in the Freemasonic lodges, right? So that's their god. So we've got to be very careful discerning here as to who is God, who are they referring to, who actually filed that you see.
So these documents are basically that he's pulling up are the manuscripts of what the video is saying. So he has the word format, and then he's going to show you the video.
Right, so we're going to have to be the investigators here and not jump to conclusions, and always use discernment, right? Divine discernment, not to separate the wheat from chaff, and just observe in education in order to, come to a decision as you gather more information. Don't be quick to kind of fall into the category of, Jesus is coming back. This is all going to be good, because there's a few suspect things that they list here that otherwise isn't in line with the New World Order. I'll play it, have a little discussion afterwards, and so you guys can follow for in your own time. It's very, very interesting. So let's listen.
Stands before God's just scripture tells us that whatsoever you sow, that shall you reap. The Bible tells us everyone is going to stand before God one day and give an account of their life on earth. 1. We are all connected to a hard drive through a wireless connection. 2. From the beginning of time, our thoughts and words have been recorded on our hard drive. 3. God can judge us at any given time. Now that you know the truth, it is in the best interest of every human being to keep a clean conscience. Keep open the gateway to the heavens. 4. You know what's right and what's wrong. Please do what's right. 5. This is why you must love and be kind to every human being who crosses your pathway. God knows everything about you. 6. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. 7. If you see the homeless, help them with some money so they can get a feed. 8. All servants of God, priests, monks, nuns, bishops, cardinals, pope, etc., of any religion are permitted to marry. Task list for every leader of every nation. 1. The leaders of the following nations, the United States, Germany, Italy, France, Russia, and China will be responsible for the loading of a Navy ships with all the gold that is held in your central/reserve bank. You are to air transport the gold to the nearest Navy base. 4,000-ton maximum payload per ship. A helicopter/pilot is to be on board the ship. You will then instruct the captain to sail the ship to the Bermuda Triangle in daylight hours. No anchor is to be dropped. Abandon the ship via the helicopter. By night, the ship will disappear into God's hands. 2. The leaders of all other nations who have more than 1 ton of gold in your central/reserve bank. You are to use your Air Force. If you don't have an Air Force, hire a plane to deliver all the gold to the Fort Knox military base in Kentucky, USA. It is Joe Biden's responsibility to inform the current commander. Call Lance O'Brien of the mission. Call Lance O'Brien is to instruct the control tower to authorize all planes to land that has gold on board. Full details for entering Fort Knox, http://www.airnav.com/airport/KFTK. It is the responsibility of Call Lance O'Brien to then air transport all the gold that has been delivered by all nations to the Naval Station Norfolk. Joe Biden is to give the following instructions to the current commander, Captain David Dees. All the gold is to be loaded on a Navy ship that is capable of carrying a helicopter. The maximum payload per ship is 4,000 tons. The ship is to be sailed to the Bermuda Triangle during daylight hours. No anchor is to be dropped. Abandon the ship via the helicopter. By night, the ship will disappear into God's hands. 3. Install the Charter of the United Nations and Statute of the International Court of Justice as your nation's constitution. The United Nations will now be the head of state for your nation. This must be executed within a week from Judgment Day. 4. All government debt for all nations will be balanced to zero. The government of any nation that requires operating and infrastructure costs will apply to the United Nations for eternity. 5. Reduce income taxation in your nation to 1% for eternity. Announce this on your mainstream media. 6. You must remove all bombs/missiles that are installed on all equipment in every military sector, land forces, naval force, air power, and dismantle all weapons, including all nuclear weapons. All military firearms are to be destroyed. 7. All bombs/grenades, including nuclear bombs, are to be sent back to the manufacturer. The cost of this will be paid by the government. The manufacturer is to dismantle each bomb, disposing of the contents of each bomb according to regulations. The uranium-235 and plutonium-239 that are removed from all nuclear weapons to be safely transported to the nearest mixed oxide fuel facility or MOX is nuclear fuel made from reprocessed plutonium and uranium. Here are the 2 locations: the U.S. Mixed Oxide Fuel Fabrication Facility, MFFF, at the Savannah River site near Aiken, in South Carolina, USA. Contact details: https://www.worldnuclear.org/our association/whoweare/contact us.asks. At Russia's Mining and Chemical Combine in Zheleznogorsk, in the Krasnoyarsk region of Russia. Contact details: https://www.penetron.com/contact. 8 firearms, including all NT firearms, unregistered firearms, and ammunition held by the general public. Your task is to set up all local police stations and other designated areas as a collection point for firearms and ammunition. The general public will have until January 1, 2025 to surrender their firearms and ammunition. Announcer.
It's 2025. Shoot, it's September 2025. And obviously all these things haven't been done, or we don't know it has been done, but most likely the firearms, all those things haven't been done. So, like I said, this is their prediction of what they want to be done. You know what I mean? Whoever made this video, the video is named Judgment Day. The person who posted this video is called Jesus Christ. So you could tell that the governments are using this name, to try to unify themselves and bring out a guidebook of what they expect to be done by January 21st, but January 2025. But like I said, they think they know what they're doing, but they really don't know. They're just really compiling lies on top of lies, and they're trying to establish something that everyone is not going to agree with, and it's crumbling down.
Action points across your mainstream media within your nation. Any member of the public caught with a firearm past this date will be sentenced to 25 years imprisonment, with no exceptions. Don't leave it to the last minute because you don't want to be in possession after January 1st, 2025. 9. Gambling is forbidden. You must remove all gambling licenses for all venues, including licenses for online gambling within your nation. 10. Mints within your nation are no longer permitted to create any type of coins for use as currency or as collector's items.
Now,
Enforce it. 11. All gold trading on.
They are getting rid of coins. They said it was a coin shortage a while ago, and now they getting rid of they already got rid of the penny, right? So,
Stock exchange across your nation must be removed. Executed. 13. No new fossil fuel projects are to be started. Enforce it. 14. The killing of dolphins and whales is prohibited worldwide. Enforce it. 15. Abortions are prohibited worldwide. Enforce it. 16. Gay and lesbian marriages.
Trump might be the only one doing what he's supposed to be doing. Trump might be the only one following the damn rules. He's the only one getting rid of everything.
Across all nations. 17. You must execute a plan to deal with homelessness, famine, and poverty within your nation. 18. The category, changes to the global banking system. Enforce the detailed changes so all deadlines are met. 19. The category, new rules for the gold industry. Worldwide, create new laws to enforce the rules within your nation. According to God. 1. All banking systems, including online services across all nations, to upgrade their system in order to accept U.S. dollars into all savings and check accounts.
Now this one is important because even before what they were talking about with the Fort Knox and the gold, like I remember earlier this year, Trump was talking about, trying to collect the gold that's in London and Fort Knox and all those things. Like this is exactly what they're trying to, do and persuade the people to come together and bring this goal together as if it's going to happen. No, everyone is greedy. They might think that they can establish it, but like I said, you cannot control everyone, and they think that they can. So, but the all banking systems, you can tell that it's connected to that, and it's connected to the higher ups in the United States or whatever. Because who else is talking about this? No one is asking for the U.S. dollar to continue in every country and be acknowledged. Right now, everybody's trying to go against that. They want the dollar to fall. So you can tell that this is part of their game.
This is to be in operation by March 1st, 2023. 2. All current domestic savings and check account balances within your nation are to be exchanged into U.S. dollars using the March 1st, 2023 U.S. dollar exchange rate. 3. From January 1st, 2023, all banks across every nation will be loaded with U.S. dollars, and U.S. dollars will be put into circulation within your nation on March 1st, 2023. Coins will not be put into circulation. 4. The banking system will automatically convert all domestic currency cash deposits up to March 31st, 2023 into U.S. dollars using the March 1st, 2023 U.S. dollar exchange rate. 5. No domestic currency cash deposits will be accepted by any bank in your nation after March 31st, 2023. 6. All registered businesses within all nations must have a terminal in place by March 1st, 2023, which allows for the processing of debit and credit card payments and the processing of any cash out. 7. ATMs across all nations will have to be upgraded or replaced in order to dispense/accept U.S. dollars. New rules for the gold industry worldwide. According to God, 1. 80% to be stored for God at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and delivered to him via the Bermuda Triangle every 4,000 tons. Planet Earth keeps 20% for our needs, which will be stored at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. 2. How it will work. Gold miners to have an LBMA accredited refinery process their deposit. The refinery will pay the mining company $1,300 US per troy ounce for 999.9% pure gold that is extracted from the deposit. Payment to the mining company will be in 60 days from the day of deposit. The refinery is then to manufacture 10 troy ounce bullion bars with 999.9% fineness. All refineries are to ship the bullion bars to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, 33 Liberty Street, New York 10045, USA, which will store all gold in their vaults. Once received, the Federal Reserve Bank will credit the LBMA accredited refinery at the rate of $1,500 per troy ounce. 3. The general public, investors, and government agencies across all nations who are holding gold bullion bars must return them to any LBMA accredited refineries around the world or your local mint. You will be paid $1,500 per troy ounce. You will be issued with a receipt and will have to return after 60 days to receive a bank transfer payment. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York will credit the LBMA accredited refinery/mint at a rate of $1,600 per troy ounce once the gold bullion bars are received at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York branch. 4. Any industry that needs gold for the manufacture of goods except the jewelry industry will need to apply in person at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York branch with the required amount of gold you require and the reason you require it. Your cost will be $1,600 per troy ounce. Once approved, the order will be delivered to your company's address. 5. The general public who holds gold coins can sell their holdings to your local mint. You will be paid $1,500 per troy ounce adjusted according to the purity. 6. Jewelry shops can also purchase any gold coins that the mints have in stock. Your cost will be $1,600 per troy ounce for gold coins adjusted according to the purity.
Okay, guys, very interesting. Awesome.
So I thought that was a very good, ability and opportunity for us to actually see what the video was about. Obviously, it's about them transferring gold into a different spot, just because maybe they know that Christ is on earth, maybe they just want to get things organized, because it's not hard to see that these things are coming down. Their authority is coming down. People are rioting, people are protesting, people are doing more sovereignty paperwork to get disconnected to their government. But when it comes to sovereignty, a lot of people don't realize that it's about nation building. You know, the sovereignty handbooks, the paperwork that you read about how to become sovereign. It's really about having a nation to become sovereign. So you can, you know, if you do the sovereignty individually, who are you governed by? You know, like
we all doing it.
Who are you protected by?
We not.
You know, those are certain things that people don't really understand. You know, it is for nation building. It is for us coming together and establishing God's government. That's what sovereignty really is about.
Y'all know what these
it's
are,
about
right?
establishing God's government, which Christ will be doing. You know, in these last days, which He is doing in these last days.
Coupons and the contracts and.
Yeah,
these are all my receipts. So we're not crazy.
You know,
we know what the hell
they call
going
this
on,
video
y'all.
Judgment Day for a reason. Because they know
exactly
what's
what's going on.
You know, it's in God's prophecy that they will be judged. And it's happening now. You know, we definitely are in the times where we're getting closer and closer to understanding, you know, how to disconnect, how to unify, how to be in order, you know, and like we say all the time, it's important for us we the people, to connect under one understanding, under one law, under one Christ, under one God, you know. And these people, they don't have one God. They don't have, you know, one Christ. They have confusion. But like us, the niggas kingdom, we have the truth, we have the way, we have the light, because we have Christ that's living on earth, that's bringing heaven on earth. And it's really not that hard to understand. The truth is not complicated. It's very simple. And once you actually hearken to the voice of God that comes from Yaju Judah, then you would actually accept who God truly is and what He is doing on this earth. You know, because these people, they're paying attention. You might not be paying attention, but we know they're paying attention. You know, and they're trying to distract you with so many things so you won't pay attention. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to pay attention to plenty of other things that they make you focus on, but it's really about us coming together. That's how we stop this madness. And I think it's very important for you guys to maybe go to our website,
Everybody already took the mark, bro.
This is where you will see our declaration.
And that's what we're going to
you know, we have court documents about our affidavit that's against what they have been doing with this UCC documents, and it's very informative. And I'll also put that website in our description and on the video.
That's where we're going next.
So until next time, I would definitely keep doing these type of videos. This was my first time doing this type of video. It wasn't that easy, but I think I can get a hand of it while I keep doing it. And
great job. Great.
Yeah, I enjoyed showing you guys what I found, the information that I found, so you guys can promote it. You guys can do your own research on it and really get in tune with what our government are doing, you know, and how can we defeat the devil that's on this earth and establish God on earth. So, peace and blessings to you guys, and peace out.
All right. Now, let me see. Now we're going to go to, let's see, first I want to go to the declaration. Man, I am so upset that
action so that they may bring joint action, all right, against any or all of us. So this is the binding form, all right, the adhesion. So when we come over here and we review the bid, okay?
I don't know, y'all. I think I missed one of her videos. Anyway, let's see. We're going to do this real quick. The declaration. We're going to read the declaration, y'all. I think I have a copy because... Okay. Now, she just gave you the website where you can find this information, but we're going to read it right now. Written on this day, July 31st. Dang, do I have a copy? Because it's going to keep, the screen keep moving. I know I got a copy somewhere. Where I do it? Oh. Let's see if I got it. Yes, right here. Okay. I'm going to read the declaration for y'all. Because we're going to bring it all home. Because I don't think y'all connecting the dots accurately. So we got to put it all together so you can see the bigger picture. Okay. Written on this day, July 31st, 2023, here follows the unanimous declaration of Yahweh Judah and the Council of Christ. Greetings of peace and salutations, my fellow brethren of Christ and citizens of the world. I am the one called the great counselor of the house of David. I am he foretold in all chronological gospels in various other scriptures, who has come to judge the world and bring back the natural order of the Creator God. As written in Amos 9:11, I will restore the tabernacle of David. I am elect of God, and he has vested in me the power of high priest, king of kings, Lord of lords, and has separated me from the people in matters related to God and the establishment of his kingdom on earth. According to Hebrews 5:1, every high priest is chosen from among men and appointed to act for them in everything that has to do with God. It is the intention of this declaration to bring awareness and seek redress for the dire state of humanity and its fall from the grace of the Creator due to the erroneous understanding and interpretation of Holy Scripture as it pertains to all Abrahamic philosophies and theories. The common and modern understanding of Scripture has been rendered legitimate through different creeds, councils, and edits according to Romans 1:25, leading to the displacement and eradication of the true Solomonic dynasty. All of this is connected. However, Christ is on earth among men, as referenced in the regathering of Israel, Hosea 1:11, and it is amplified in other scripture revealing deliverance of Israel from her persecutors and restoration to their land. The general details of tribulation characterize the present age as described in Matthew 24. There will be wars, famine, pestilence, and earthquakes, as as persecution of those who confess the Lord. These times of the great tribulation, unprecedented in its severity, signifies the return of the Son of Man, who will establish his throne and judge the nations according to their deeds, shown in Genesis 15, verse 13 through 14. This is a declaration of independence and a proclamation for the establishment of the government of God in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in the pursuit of freedom, justice, and liberty for humanity. I request assistance from all nations in support of returning artifacts, relics, tablets, and manuscript relating to the law of God seized during the 1868 siege on Emperor Tewodros II in Magdala, Ethiopia by Great Britain. Further assistance is needed in the reparations to Addis Ababa, the descendants of the prisoners of war who were captured and sold as slaves during the advancement of the colonization of the New World and the scramble for Africa. Your humble servant of God, Christ Yah Judah. All of this is connected. Now, the last thing we're going to read, and I need to get a copy of it too. I got a copy of it here. Hold on, y'all. Because y'all have to, this is so y'all understand that it's all connected. It's all connected. And you are bondmen and bondwomen, and no man will save you. A higher power will. Okay. The next thing I'm going to read is the Royal Notice of Dominion. Okay. The Royal Notice of Dominion. And it's on the screen too, y'all. Now, I wasn't able to find the other video that I have of the lady, but she actually showed a UCC one. She went into detail about filing documents with the court instead of filing a bunch of affidavits and spending your money like I did, sending all these remittance coupons and promissory notes, and some of these cost $200. So y'all, that can't be the way. That's more oppression. That's more work, more doing things. And then she was saying how she was gonna do a class the next day about how to submit documents or actually pursue, or it takes action to get these things reversed. But I'm like, okay, that's true. I totally agree. It does take action. But if you do, I don't know if people are aware of how much it actually costs to file a civil suit in the court. For you to file a civil suit for every contract, think about this. To file one civil suit for every single contract that you done got yourself into to get out of. Because I think this is where she was teaching in the class the next day, because she talked about this on the live. And I was like, it's $600 per contract. Per person that you are going to sue. It costs you $600 to file a petition. And that's just I don't know how much it costs to file it with the Supreme Court and the federal courts. This is just in a low-level court in your area. $600 per contract, per lawsuit. Then you're going to play a game on their court. You feel me? It's a game. Remember, corporate lawyers get paid the most money. So guess what the lawyer is going to do when you file your suit? because they know you don't have as much money as them. So they gonna drag that shit out for a year, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 per contract. And you're gonna have to know how to file documents, because they're gonna play gamemanship. And they're gonna file all kind of worthless documents to keep you confused. Yeah, it's a game, and they're gonna play the game, because everybody in the game is playing the game to get money, and you're playing the game for your freedom. And they're gonna drain you of all your resources with their gamemanship in the courts. Every contract that you file a lawsuit, you want to file a suit on, it costs you $600 to file a petition at the court in civil law. Yes, it does. And I know this for a fact, because I've done it. $600 per petition. Now you think about all the contracts that you're trying to get out of, that you want to get some money out of. You want to sue these people. I'm not saying it's wrong. I ain't saying they not doing wrong. I ain't saying she wrong. She right. She absolutely right. It does take action, but on a bigger scale than individual action. Everybody going to class and learning how to file petitions in the court of law for their freedom. It's going to take way more than that. It's bigger than that. And this is what we're talking about. So now I'm going to read the Royal Notice of Dominion. On behalf of Yaju Judah, the living Christ, eternal high priest, King of kings, and true Pope, by right of divine inheritance, by natural law, and by the eternal covenant established before the foundation of the world, let it be known and established that Yaju Judah, the living Christ, eternal high priest, King, and true Pope, born in the flesh as Cordell Johnson, established and declared by the heavenly kingdom, and hereafter referred to as the true Christ, reigns as the sole and rightful authority over heaven and earth. Now, mind y'all, the popes are saying that Jesus and Peter gave them the right to do all the things that they've done. Now, if you ain't caught up, we have a bunch of lives. Everybody got lives. I mean, not lives. Everybody have recordings on their pages. We go live all the time talking about this, that the Vatican used the doctrine of discovery to colonize lands, take lands, commit genocide, right? They didn't work by themselves. They wasn't working alone. So, where was I at? Okay, I'll just start here. This notice also applies to, okay. I lost my place. Born in the flesh, Cordell Johnson. This notice also applies to all corporate, commercial, or legal aliases, including but not limited to Jesus Christ, Son of God, Christ, and all derivatives, and revokes all presumption of authority or control over these aliases by any man, pope, king, or corporation. The heavenly name, Yaju Judah, is the true and eternal identity revealed by divine appointment according to prophecy. Because what did prophecy say? He'll have a name that no man knows but he himself. They created a name that can tie them to what they wanted it to mean. This is why the name Jesus Christ is tied to these contracts. Yeah, I go. Hold on. Okay. So this truth is not subject to debate, denial, or dismissal by worldly institutions. No papal bull, crown charter, or corporate fiction shall stand against his eternal dominion. All trusts presumed in his name or over his people are hereby revoked and nullified. Declarations. Living status. Yahweh Judah, the living Christ, is alive and reigns forevermore. He is not lost at sea, dead in law, or subject to any corporate jurisdiction. His authority flows from divine law, natural law, common law, commercial law. All lower jurisdictions are subordinate and bound. Prior notices and defaults. Because prior notices have been served. They have been served. Action is being taken. On August 6, 2023, a declaration of Christ's living authority was duly served upon the Holy See, placing it on lawful notice. No rebuttal under oath or evidence to the contrary was ever received. By their silence, agreement and default are entered onto record, confirming the validity of said declarations and binding all ecclesiastical and temporal authorities, who claim through the papal see. Revocation of presumed trusts. The papal bulls, Unum Sanctum Romanus Pontifex and Iterum Regis, are hereby declared void and of no effect. The Sister KV trust systems and all derivative presumptions are hereby revoked. That one sentence closes all that shit down on a mass scale. Reference is also made to Washington State filing number 2022-264-75505, a internal financing statement purporting to list Jesus Christ as secured party with God in heaven, the United Nations, and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York as assigners, the UN member states as debtors. Such claims are hereby revoked and nullified in their entirety, having no application or authority over Yahweh Judah, the living Christ, nor over the people of God, who remain free from all fraudulent presumptions. Revision of estates. See, we covering it all. We're covering it all. So you don't have to go and find out who your great grandparents were, so you can go and figure out how to process the paperwork and claim as the heir of these estates. It has to be done on a mass scale. And they know that. We just don't know that. Well, y'all just don't know that. We know that. Revision of estates. All titles, estates, properties, and rights fraudulently claimed under false trusts are returned to Yahweh Judah, the living Christ, the rightful heir. Notice to all authorities. All governments, courts, banks, and ecclesiastical offices are hereby commanded to cease fraudulent dominion and to stand down under divine jurisdictions. All presumed contracts or obligations in the name of Christ and his estate are void from the beginning. All officials, agents, and officers are bound to recognize the jurisdiction of the living Christ. Any continued presumption of authority constitutes fraud, trespass, and rebellion against divine law. They knew when their time was going to be up. And they know what has to happen. They knew what had to happen. They knew who had to do it and how he had to do it. And they made sure that we were so entertained and distracted that we would never figure out any of this. But, you know, and this is where the alchemy comes in. We're going to talk about that next, because that's connected to Christ. And the origin of that is Ethiopia, where all of this started. So, if I have time, of course. I want to get into that, but let me finish this. Any continued presumption of authority constitutes fraud, trespass, and rebellion against divine law. Default terms. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. And I know anybody that's in the, you know, that's dealing with the coupons and the promissory notes. I don't know what to call the circle. I guess the national, U.S. nationals. I don't know. People that's trying to change their status, y'all know that language. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. All parties served with this notice have 30 days to review each declaration herein, point for point, by affidavit under full penalty of perjury. Failure to review constitutes agreement and a lawful contract by acquiescence. Silence equal consent. Default equal judgment. I know if you ever, y'all know this is how it works in their court, on their court. I think that was it. Now this was filed in the public record, so you can find it on the website and read it for yourself. Hold on. Oh, that was it. The other documents that were filed with it was just but that's the main and the most important, y'all. Give me a second. I went to the store. I'm gonna take y'all with me. That was really I'm gonna play this video real quick. Is it cause
to complete your online witness affidavit, simply locate the declaration.
You can
tab
find
at the
all
top
of this
the
on the website as well, y'all.
Click it, then scroll down to the tab titled Sign to be a Witness. Follow the steps there to fill out and submit your affidavit online. Once you've signed, you can request a copy of your completed affidavit by clicking the contact link on the site and messaging the administration. We'll send your verified document directly to you.
Hey family, let's walk through the right way to get your witness affidavit notarized and filed.
Now all of this is on the website, y'all. You can find that on the website. Read the declaration yourself. Read the raw notice of dominion yourself. Okay, let me close that. All right. Turn this off. I had some people requesting up, but I guess they don't want to come up anymore. Hold on. I think we did, hold on, y'all. I wanted to touch on the alchemy, y'all, but, Because I don't think, you know, when people start talking about stuff like that, you automatically assume, they automatically assume that you talking about some new age stuff. But I don't think y'all understand, to even grasp the concept of any of this, you gonna have to go within. You really gonna have to sit down and empty your cup to be able to accept this information, to accept the truth. You really gonna have to get rid of everything you know, and that's alchemy. And I found out that this is the origin of that was Ethiopia, and this is the process of the whole Christ dying and being born again. So this is why I wanted to share that, because I was like, all of this goes together. It all goes together. And she said it in that video that I played at the beginning, when the lady that was talking about the birth certificates and all that. You can't even, for you to even be in a circle or on the same algorithm as people talking about these things, for you to even be interested in them, there's got to be some form of awakening. And that's just the honest to God truth. So I was looking into, you know, the alchemy, and I was trying to see like where it all came from. And hold on. And I'm just going to show y'all. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so, and here's what it says. So, in classic alchemy, the transformation of matter was a metaphor for the transformation of consciousness. The work was always internal, not external. The alchemists described this process in 3 sacred stages, encoded through color, symbol, and spiritual law. So, the first stage is the blackening, negrito, or black. This stage represents death of the false self, dissolution of illusion, chaos, and return to the void. Alchemically, it is called prima materia, the raw, unrefined truth. Spiritually, this is the womb, the place of origin, the darkness that holds all potential. In Ethiopian cosmology, black is not absence. It is origin. It is creation energy. It is memory. It is where awakening begins. I was like, so these the people that sleep, basically. The people that sleep, they ain't even got to the first stage. The first stage of being aware that you've been lied to and accepting that. If you can't get past this first stage, you... When I tell you that Christ will be walking the earth, you'll never get it. You'll never understand how that works. You'll never understand that you've been lied to about everything. You'll never be able to accept it. And I was like, what the hell? So, the death part. Dying to the self. Accepting that you don't know everything. You have been lied to. And you're going to have to empty your cup and relearn. That's the first stage. Step 1. To even being able to understand all the other stuff we talked about. The first step is accepting that you don't know everything. Okay, stage 2. Albino, the whitening. Now, and when I was reading this, I was like, Negrito, albedo, and rebuto. That's the red man, the black man, and the white man. want y'all to think all of this stuff is about religion. This shit have nothing to do with religion. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So the second stage, albedo, the whitening. Albedo, this is illumination, purification, clarity. The moment consciousness begins to see. This is not about race. It's not about race. This is about light. White represents revelation, being given sight, the separation of truth from illusion, the awakening of the mind. This stage marks the shift from confusion to understanding, from darkness into awareness. Keep going. Stage 3, rebuto, the reddening. Rebuto, integration, embodiment, resurrection. Come on, man. This is why I said, this is why I told y'all in the last live, Christ is the alchemist. And what does Christ do? He teach your ass how to become an alchemist. I know I be saying things that this is my personal thing. But I'm serious. He teaches you, this is the whole lighting of the candlestick. I wish I could break this down to how I read it. Something I looked up, right? And it gave me the spark, like the details about the spark and how it works and how God did it once and God can do it again. So he's the first one to do the work and identify the spark. So that's how he's the first one. He's the firstborn, right? And his candlestick is lit because the creator is the main source, right? So his candlestick is lit and he lights other candlesticks. So he teaches you the process of this Ethiopian practice. This is the origin. It comes from Ethiopia, where the whole thing about Christ comes from. That's the origin of it. And mind you, to all the people that's doing the stuff with the birth certificates and all of that stuff, it's linked to what happened in Ethiopia, between Ethiopia, the United States, the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican, let's just say the royal families, Italy, and the Soviet Union. I mean, all you gotta do is just go back and watch the recordings that we have, and it's connecting it all. So, let's see what it say next. Decoded, embedded. Okay, what? I'm not sure exactly what that means. Decoded, embedded across traditions. Alchemy, black, white, and red. The sequence appears across ancient systems, but not by accident, by design. Alchemy encoded, it is negrito, albedo, rebuto. Biblical symbolism names Adam as red earth. Ethiopian cosmology tracks human ascent through these stages. Kemet wisdom called the land KMT, the black land, source of life. Mystery schools hid the process in color-coded institutions. Carl Jung later identified it as shadow work, awakening, and integration. So this is not about race. This is archetype. This is consciousness evolution, or whatever you want to call it. Call it what you want to call it. It's the same. All this is just a pattern of them taking something that was and naming it a whole bunch of other shit that don't mean nothing but the same thing that it originally was. For real. Just like Hebrew, Israelite, Israelites, Israel, Ethiopian, burnt face. Patterns. It's all the same pattern. They do the same thing over and over again. Now, the world is collectively moving through The bottom, the first stage, Negrito, chaos, collapse, exposure. But awakening follows pattern. Clarity emerges, and those who integrate truth rise into Rebuto, embodied leadership. This is why Ethiopia matters. This is why alchemy matters. This is why the kingship matters. I was like, what? So, Nugu's kingdom would represent sovereignty restored, consciousness embodied, kingship remembered. It's not a movement about skin color, but about spirit and truth. Okay? Not dominating other people, but helping other people to align with spirit and truth. Not about religion, but about revelation. Like, the path has always been the same. Black, white, red, origin, illumination, sovereignty, potential, clarity, power. This is Ethiopian alchemy. This is living scripture. This is the return of understanding. New Agers didn't make this up. This is a ancient Ethiopian practice, and it wasn't practiced by everybody. It was practiced by the priests, the Christ, the leader, the King of Kings. I said, "Oh my goodness!" Now, I'm just saying, y'all. The truth makes sense. It makes sense and it lines up. It's as simple as let me make sure that was it. I think that was it, y'all. I thought I had some guests. Anybody want to come up, you're welcome to come up. I'm gonna see if I can find. I know this is. Now I had another one, but I can't find it, y'all. Oh, I'm gonna share this. Is this it? Yeah, this was it, because I'm gonna see if I can find the other thing. I might just share that, because I be asking some crazy questions, but sometimes it takes crazy questions to find crazy answers. The truth is stranger than fiction. We all heard that before. All right, so this one was about awareness and thought, right? Hold on. Because if you're not aware, you again, I'm gonna keep saying it. If you're not aware, you're not gonna go within. You're not gonna empty your cup. You're not gonna even think about awareness, y'all. You gotta be aware first that you're confused. So, awareness. Awareness is that which knows, has no content by itself. It's present before, during, and after any thought. You can't come on these type of platforms and have a conversation with one of us if you're not aware. This is what happens when we say, "Did you hear what you just said?" Because I know y'all don't be paying attention to what y'all be saying, because I'll be saying things and then saying something else that goes against what you just said. And I'm like, did you just hear what you said? Because you're obviously not aware of your own thoughts. So, awareness does not argue, narrate, or judge. It simply is. Thought, however, is content. It has form, it has word, it has images, it has memories, and it has ideas. Thought arises within awareness. If you sleep, you're not aware. And if you sleep, you can't hear or see the truth. You're not going to understand it. You're not going to grasp it. These are the people, if I tell you that your birth certificate has you in bondage, you will never, ever, 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 ever understand what I'm saying. No matter how I put it, you're never going to get it. If I can tell you that mortgages are fraudulent contracts, you'll never understand it. I can tell you that the Bible that you read every day for your own personal growth states that Christ will be walking among you and God will send one like Moses. But you'll never understand what I'm saying because you're not even aware of your own thoughts and how your mind works to be able to understand the thought that I'm trying to give you. Awareness is key. It's important. It's so important that they made distractions a work of art. That's how important awareness is. They made it a job for you to be less aware. That's how important it is. They made sure that you was at work 12 hours a day, worrying about what you was going to cook when you got home, simultaneously thinking about what you're going to do for Christmas and Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day and everybody's birthday that's in your family. And they made sure that you ain't got no damn time to be aware of nothing but what's going on in this system. So, I told y'all, the truth connects everything. So when you say the source of self is awareness, the part is actually very solid, but the self, in its most basic sense, is not thought. The self is awareness in which thought appears. That's why you can observe your thoughts. If you were thought itself, observation would be impossible. Peace, peace, chosen 3 in 1. So, now where does God fit in all this? If we use God not as a character, but as, source, origin, then we could say this. God would represent the source of being, order, intelligibility, not individual thoughts, but the capacity for thought. Not your ideas, not your imagination, not what you imagine, not your ideas, but the field in which ideas are possible. In that sense, God is not thinking your thoughts. God is the ground that makes thinking possible. That shit was deep. Whoa. So, then it says the collective aspect of thought. Most thoughts are not original. This is very important, y'all. This is very, very, very important. Most thoughts are not original. They come from the language you didn't invent, symbols that you inherited, cultural narratives, religious frameworks, trauma patterns, education systems. So, yes, individual thought is largely a localized expression of a collective mind. I got that. I don't know. Did y'all get that? Because I got that perfectly clear. You thinking that all the stuff that you think you got that on your own, but really it is a collective, it's a collection of everything that you have experienced since you came into the world, and your mama gave you a name, gave you a piece of paper with the name, put you in schools of thought. So your thoughts, these thoughts that you so proud of, that you can't let go of, all these things that you know, they come from language you didn't invent, symbols you inherited, cultural narratives, religious frameworks, trauma patterns, and education systems, all created by the same people that created the birth certificates. So, you know what I'm saying? Awareness is very important. Awareness is singular and immediate. Thought is distributed and shared. This is why different people in different cultures tend to think in similar patterns. Okay? So, the God, source, creation is one God, y'all. The creator God. Ground of existence. Ground of order. Ground of consciousness itself. Awareness, the localized capacity to know. The I am before description. God expressed, not divided. Collective thought, language, symbols, myths, cultural memory. Individual thought, your personal narratives, your personal opinions, your personal interpretations, and your personal ego stories. I couldn't have said it better myself. I couldn't have said this better. God is the source of awareness. Awareness is the source of sense of self. Thought is content arising within awareness. Most thought is borrowed from the collective. You've been taught what to think all your life, and now you're 47 years old and think you know everything. No. That's why God would send one like Moses, because the world will be what? Like the days of Noah, which was horrible, and it had to be corrected. You can't correct a lie with more lies. So somebody had to come with the truth. And I don't understand why it's so impossible. Like, why is it so hard to believe that it will be one person that would have the whole truth and nothing but the truth? It's only one person that invented the washing machine. One person invented the light switch. One person invented, like, I don't see how that's hard to believe. These are ideas. These are thoughts. So one person will get a thought and connect all these dots, connect the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and enlighten everybody. How? Word of mouth. Isn't word of mouth the best advertisement? So why is it so impossible to believe that somebody will say something, and then somebody else will say it, and then they will pass the word, and this person will say it, and that person will say it? They showing y'all every day on TikTok and all the other social media platforms through the algorithm how fast information spreads just by talking. So, why does all this matter? Well, if you're trying to reconcile spiritual truth, psychological reality, lived experience, the tension you feel is because people are taught to identify with thought, when in reality, thought happens to you. Awareness is you. Biblically, this aligns with be still and know that I am God. I am before name, roles, or stories. Renewing of the mind, not worshiping of it. So, I'm just saying. And I think that was it, because I don't think I'm going to go into the other stuff. Maybe I'll share that on a different live, because it's kind of deep. It's deep. It goes in, it's deep. We still in the Negrito stage. I don't even think y'all ready for no deep information like what is the spark and all that stuff. But if I don't have any guests, I'm going to say goodbye. Anybody want to come up? Not, then I'm going to say goodbye. But, yeah, I think that was it. So, pieces. Do y'all kind of, do y'all understand why this can't just be like, oh, I'm going to go and correct my status, and then it's going to all be fixed. Then you didn't know, because you got to correct your status. Then you got to do something about the driver's license. You got to ride around with this big-ass binder. If something happened, then you got to pull the binder out and explain. Like, do that sound like divine order? Do that sound like saving you from... That sound like bondage. That sound like another form of bondage. That sound like a lot of damn work. Matter of fact, it is. Do y'all know? Y'all seen all them damn... Did y'all see all these things that I seen? Oh, that's bondage. That's work. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. And it just takes you from one thing to the next. So that's proof that y'all come on these platforms and think we don't know what y'all talking about, when just because we ain't on here saying, oh, we ain't talking about it, don't mean we haven't done it, we haven't experienced it, we done tried it. We know it's true. We know it's real. We know this for a fact. That's why we putting the pieces together and inviting y'all to the round table to get it done accurately. All right, y'all. I don't have no guests. I'm gonna go end the live. Make sure y'all go to yajujudah.com. Check out the declaration. Hold on. There's several videos on there. The raw notice of dominion is on there. How you can... not everybody is meant to be a leader, quote unquote leader of a governing body, of, especially. So, many are called, few are chosen. Are you going to accept the challenge, though? Are you going to accept the job? That's everybody want to be chosen, but don't nobody want to accept the job. They don't want to, and the crazy part is, they don't want to accept the job because the job come with a manager, a leader, a supervisor. Leaders coming together with another leader. People don't want to accept leadership. But in your everyday life in the system, I understand why y'all don't want to accept leadership, because you feel like the leadership has failed from the jump. Yeah, I get it. Well, until we actually come in order, we're going to be just going in circles. So, go to the website, YaJuJudah.com. You can sign the petition, find out information about the witness affidavits you can file to just be a part of this. If that's all you want to do, just be a part of it. But if you want to bring your talents and your gifts to the table, bring your ideas to help this move along, you know, God waiting on y'all to get in order. It ain't the other way around. So, with that being said, I'm going to say peace, y'all. Because I don't have anything else to give y'all.